with us. Everything is fine. The documents are with us. Everything is perfect now. So we are thinking, why not develop a resource center where we can train and groom people. So like 200, 120 MSW students. Why we are saying, because this will be a 3-day module. In 3-day module, we will teach them, we'll groom them, because they don't have the practical experience. And this will be groomed by our experts who will come there and then groom them for 3 days. So 3 days for 20 students. So in a month, we are targeting at least 120. So we have already had a word with all the colleges, colleges who are having this subject, and we're inviting all the schools as well. Like, they're also very much interested to learn this green skill initiative, because our students, nowadays they are not in touch with soil. So what we are saying, soil is important. First, you get connect with soil, and we have the best officers with us, retired officers, who can train them, groom them, how to sustain, in a forest life. So 3 days is more than enough for us. Like, we have already module, we have the entire model with us. So this is what we are thinking. Like, this is how we can make the change, create awareness, and once that can be a tourism spot as well in future. Tourism can come and see like what we are doing and all. Also, we are planning for our craft tourism, in collaboration with NHSDC. So this souvenir cafe is a part of it. This community, when they will make this small products, like handicraft, craft and looms, we can display it there. In fact, our office where we are sitting now, it's a youth resource center where we invite all the youth, and we work with them. Like, you share your ideas, we call adda, orbital adda. So where we sit and we chat, we talk, we brainstorm, we come up upcycling. There's so many upcycling products we're coming up with, like waste bottle and all. We do many things, like small initiatives we are taking.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Hello, this is Bhaskar Natarajan. Nice presentation. Interesting areas you have chosen. Tell me, for the funding that you're seeking for the first year, at the end of 12 months, what will you have in your project location?
So at the end of the month, so I didn't get it.
The end of 12 months, what all will be completed in the project location?
Okay.
You mentioned some toilets, you mentioned some training, you mentioned a number of things. So what is it that you will be completed at the end of 12 months?
So this is the ecotourism side. So we will basically, we are planning for, there won't be any concrete things. We are planning up for only bamboo resources already available there. We will pitch in some tents there. We have luxury tents. So where the students can come and stay with us.
Disturbance. I can't hear you at all.
Noise.
Yeah, too much of noise.
I think it's Vishwa Shah. He needs to mute.
Like, this is all very compatible, like it won't take much time. So we are taking a 5 months.
The other participants to please unmute themselves.
So we'll take 5 months to.
Daisy, you can mute them if you need to.
So we will take 5 months, to build the entire structure, because I want to keep it a very raw jungle kind of thing. So that's why they will get the raw experience, because we have the army officers as well. Like, so there won't be any concrete construction. So it won't take much time. In 5 minutes, in 5 years, we can complete. We have a resort in Kaziranga National Park where we build the entire structure in 2 months. So for us, because we have experts with us, my brother is an architect, we have architects in our team. So we all talk about sustainable architecture. So it won't take much time for us. 5 months where we can get it ready, because we'll keep it very raw. We just need the funding for procurement of the tents, making the community dining table, dining and kitchen, the utensils, the basic facilities. We need the funding for that.
And how much of the total funds will go into these assets, the tent and the dining and the entire facilities that you're going to do? Out of the roughly the $20,000, how much is going to be spent on this? $18,000.
Yes.
Okay. All right. But if I go back to your first couple of points. You said that this is already a zero waste village, right?
Again, like, sir, it's a two-part. So zero
Yes.
waste village is in Arunachal. That's already,
Yes.
we have achieved that. So that's where
Right.
we are working. After that, we have, we thought we need more community centers, where we can train and groom people, because it's very difficult for us to go to each and every community and train them there. So better we can take those leaders here, bring those leaders here, and we can train them, or we can train those MSW students, like who are working for social work. They can be a part of this initiative, and they can lead, they can create the impact in those communities. So we are already connected with all the communities. This team can go there and they can groom and train them and make them a zero waste community. So we
No,
already
no,
got a project.
one second, 1 second. You said this village is already zero waste, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now you also said that you want to make this village sustainable, right?
Yes.
Now, in these two situations, you are doing activities that are not in the village, right? It is somewhere else, and you are going to be spending $18,000 at a different location, correct? Not in the village. How do you
Yes, sir.
propose to make the village sustainable in this situation?
So we are spending $2,000 there for the village, where we will send our experts and we already have collaborations with NEHSDC. So they will go and groom them on like handloom, handicrafts, skill development things. So we have our team, our team will go there and train them, groom them, like, because now we don't need much funding for that village. It's already sustained. We just want to make it a self-sustained village. We just have to talk to them about how uh, sustainable farming is getting done. So for that, this funding will be used for that. So that the team which will go there, they will stay, they will, for that only we need this funding, $2,000
The
to them.
time's
And
up.
Okay, thank you.
thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. United proposal, building sustainable society addressing climate crisis, is a very interesting one, and I'm sure we've all been very interested during your presentation. Now, moving ahead, I'd like to invite Snehal Trivedi and her team to present her submitted proposal named Soil. So, Snehal, please do share your pitch deck and do let us know whenever you're ready to present.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yes, you
Hello. Hi. This is Snehal and she is Apurva.
Hello everyone.
Are we audible?
Hello, yes, you're audible.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Hello. Yes,
So,
yes, you are.
first of all, thank you for having us and giving us this platform to share with you. And excuse us if we are not as prepared because this is the first time we are giving a pitch like this to a panel. So, please bear with us. So, our project is called Seed to Soil, and I'd like to share the screen. Can you hear can you see the screen?
Yes, it's visible. Are you ready to start?
Yes. So,
All right. So your time starts now.
okay. So I'll give you a brief of where I come from. I was in England for a while, and then in 2007, I moved back to India and got a small piece of land on the edge of Auroville and Pondicherry in Tamil Nadu. And that's where I started experimenting with the barren land. And since then, I have been involved into a lot of activities with sustainability and permaculture and community outreach programs. So as we are here to find solutions for a more sustainable world for us and our future generations, I'd like to present our proposal for what are we concerned about. So as you all know, things are getting worse, and as you can see on the screen, there's a huge patch of wasteland all across India which is not been cultivated, which is not been taken care of, and it's just getting drier, and that is adding a lot of problem to urban migration, and the villages are getting less populated where the water and the kind of scarcities are there. So what, with our experience in the last 15-20 years, we have understood that the biggest challenge into regenerating the environment or regenerative environment, if we say, labor is turning out to be the biggest expense when you have to work on regenerative agriculture or restoring the environment, because all the people are either working in the factories or industrial zone and everything, and they still have a lot of land back in their villages, but it's not cultivated or it's not taken care of, or they just go for one season a year when it rains. So to tackle these issues, and also the issue with the water, because still 70 to 80% of farmland is rain fed, and the people or the farmers who are depending on the groundwater, they are depleting the groundwater table fast. So it is again creating a challenge for people who choose to irrigate with the borewell. At the same time, we have we have rain all across India. As you can see on the right hand side corner, most of our Indian plateau receives rain between 300 minimum to almost 2000, and on an average it's 800 to 900 mm per year, which is more than enough for any farmland to store and utilize the rainwater throughout the year. And this used to be our practice before 100 years back, when the villages were taking care of their village commons of ponds and dams and everything. But since a lot of things have changed politically and otherwise, nobody is taking care of the water bodies, and that's why the lakes and the ponds are going dry, and it doesn't sustain moisture. So the less the water, the more hardship the farmers have. So we are aware of the situation on ground. Me and Apurva, my wife, we have been traveling across India in the last 3 to 4 years. We have visited a lot of farms. We stay there, we understand. In some places, we also run a kitchen which produces food, and we serve that food. So what we have came up and what we are already doing at the moment is our seed to soil project. It's basically, we started this in January this year, and I'm just connecting with people on different networks and offering them my design service for their requirement. So me and my team, or we both go there to the site, and we understand the challenges, we make notes, we take photographs, and then in 3 to 4 weeks we come up with a design solution based on their requirement. So recently we have done one design in Nagpur. I just working on that. Before that, I worked with a NGO in Pune. They are also a 10-acre project and they want to create a nursery and a demo site for a food forest. So as you can see on the screen, are you able to see the child with the empty pot? Yeah. So if you see at the bottom, there are ways to trap the rainwater. So in a slope or a flat surface, so the design initially is about rainwater harvesting. And what we do is we understand the contours and the terrain of the place, topography of the land, and we intervene with the earthworks. And even in this, we always focus on participation of either the landowner or the community who owns the land, who are the beneficiaries of this uh, implementations. So we just offer our know-how, our training, and the design to slowly transform those barren lands into a more uh, uh, moisture capturing, and it starts growing organic matter. So down the line, in the next 3 to 4 or 5 years, that barren land transforms into a more live, living microclimate. And once we have enough diversity of ground cover and other plants and species, we start introducing a long-term species of trees and plants and wood and perennials. It's all tailor-made, and it depends on the person who is going to utilize the land or who is going to maintain the land. So it can be a family, it can be a group of people, or in one case, this Nagpur land is owned by a couple from US and they want to move after 2 to 3 years. So they want the initiation foundation to be done before they move to the land. So we, with our team and a couple of local laborers, we have started working on the design in that sense. So if you can see, there is a food forest layer. So this is basically what we mimic the nature as we have it as a tropical evergreen forest. And what we choose is more human centric uh, plants and trees and other species we introduce as a diversity. So we have more output from the same forest, but ultimately we call it as a food forest. Is the idea that after 5 years, the input of human labor or human time keeps reducing, and the output from the forest goes increasing. So we take care of the labor cost on the farm. There is no tilling and doing the same thing every season. So the forest starts establishing itself, and after 10 years, it becomes completely self-sustaining. So all the person has to do is maintain it, take care of it, and harvest and benefit from it, and it just keeps on growing. So we create a forest which we have been cutting like thousands of years old forest. This kind of forest will take 10 years and it will be for lifetime as far as the next generation keeps on maintaining it. So basically we are into that kind of designing. It's also called agroforestry, which takes care of a lot of aspects of sustainability and water management, waste management, health management, and it's always a positive output uh, from whatever piece of land we design it. It can be a half acre, it can be a 50 acre, it can be a bigger place. Depends on what kind of human resources that land has to offer. As you can see on the screen, we use permaculture as a framework, and that's how we have been doing our workshops as a Heal the Soil project. There is a course coming up in August, so a lot of people will join us. Now I would like to quickly introduce one of our eco warriors, is Pratik Bhai from Saurashtra. Pratik Bhai, can you please introduce yourself and a quick thing about your participation. Or maybe Vishwa.
Namaskar ji.
Yes,
So I met Snehal Bhai through Facebook. So that's the network he's talking about. He's connected to the world through internet and trying to harness the goodness in it. When I visited him, like, my first experience with him was of experiencing my senses properly. I was more at peace. He taught me, he gave us tasks and simple things that explore different variables in my psyche. For example, making a bouquet. I'm doing farming and I see plants all around me, but using some parts of the plants to make a bouquet gave me a different understanding of the nature around me, and I had to look at it differently. अब इसी तरीके से what my understanding of Snail Bhai is कि अगर आप एक spider web लेते हैं and you break some strands out of it, nothing will happen. But at a tipping point, the whole thing will crumple. अब स्नेहल भाई जब एक फॉरेस्ट वापस रिक्रिएट करने की बात करते हैं, तो ही इज इंटरवीविंग दोस कनेक्शंस ऑफ द फूड वेब, एंड that by itself creates a sustainable forest. And I'm learning that from him.
Thank you, Vishwa. Pratik bhai, can we have you online? Yes.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
My name is Pratik. Hello, everyone. And so we got connected during a workshop in the introduction to permaculture a few months back, and I've been reading a lot about permaculture. I've been practicing a lot about related to permaculture, and I just got connected with Snehal Bhai to this introduction to permaculture course. And we did lot many experiments around ecological practices like kitchen garden and food forest, etc. The main thing that inspired me to work with is rainwater harvesting. So that is something that right now I am most interested in. And so I am based in the Gir forest. Nearby Gir forest, I have this piece of land where um, the region is getting drier and drier now, and all these local farmers have been extracting water from the ground level, and it's been getting lower and lower, and more I see in near future we are going to be out of water within like few years for sure. And the moment we talked about rainwater harvesting in permaculture course, I just realized that this is something that is hour of need. And especially when we are nearing to forest, because we've been keep having these sites of animals getting into the fields of farmers. For example, lions and leopards, they keep visiting to our farms just to have a sip of water, because there is no water in the forest. There is no water during the summers to drink, and they come to farm just because the water is available in the farmer's place. They simply suck out water from the ground level, and they have to come and visit us, and that's where these frictions keep happening. And and this is one of the step for if you want to talk about permaculture, that is one of the step. But that's what they put more effort. What they say is plant water before you plant a tree, and that makes absolute sense to me. Yeah.
Hello, 1 second, please. Can I have 15 seconds? This is Akshay.
Sure, please
and
wrap it up soon. Yes.
Yeah.
Akshay.
Yeah. So I'm managing a farm at Pune region. So we have conducted a permaculture training at our farm with Snail, and it was quite amazing experience to learn permaculture principles and ethics. So it was a nice experience when we are trying to switch our barren land into agroforestry. Thanks.
Thank you, Akshay.
All right.
So yeah,
Thank you, Snehal and team.
so I
I
just
hope the
quickly wrap up
presentation is
that
concluded.
this is,
Can we move
yeah.
ahead to the Q&A round?
Sorry.
All right, so we can move ahead to the Q&A round, right?
Yes, sure, sure.
Sure. Thank you, Snehal and team. I request our judges to please unmute themselves, start asking the question as the Q&A round has begun.
Hey, am I audible? Hi,
Yes.
Sneha.
Hi.
So
Yes.
one of the main question is like you didn't cover like what would be the activities you will be doing with the fund that would be allocated, and that's something where I don't see a visibility here.
Yeah, so I was not able to get the time to go through the entire slide, but I have presented it. So the activities are basically we go there and we do the design first, we understand, and then we do hands-on workshop with the host, with the farmers or with the families or the communities. And the workshops varies from 3 days to 15 days, depending on what they need at that phase of time. And we have done about 20 bigger workshops and more than 100 smaller workshops so far on this permaculture and food forest design and understanding. So right now we have, for this year, we have identified 3 locations in different places of India, and we might have another 3 to work on by end of this year. So we'll be working with 6 different locations for this year.
So when you say you identified, does it mean like is it a farm or is it what is it exactly when you say location?
So mostly they are barren land. Means we focus on land which is not producing much as a return. So they are barren land or hilltops or unutilized spaces, or a farm which is degrading kind of thing, or people who want to switch from monoculture and chemical farming to more sustainable and long lasting. So there is a gap, they have to switch from whatever they are doing to the next 2 to 3 years. Only then this will start making a change. So once you change the entire design of the farm and make it more water percolate and do the design with the swales and trenches, slowly it starts showing on the land. So mostly they are the farms, either privately owned or can be a common farm of or a common land of a certain community or village.
Yeah, but when you said you have identified so how big are those lots that you have identified?
So one, as you say, Pratik Bhai, he is in Girnar. They are managing around 15 acres of land and they want to create into a food forest. So right now I'm doing a private consultancy, but I don't keep it only exclusively as a paid consultancy. So I keep it open for people or organization which cannot afford my consultancy. I still go there and give the same services. With this funding and enabling us to have more access to possibilities, I can keep providing these services with other team members and other eco warriors, which we keep on having joining for 3 to 6 months. So more team can be on the site and demonstrate and do workshops and revisit them at exact intervals when it's needed. So before the rain, after 6 months, like this, we keep on juggling between activities. But the host is the person, the farm owner is the one who is going to take it forward.
Right. Yeah, Rishi, you want to go ahead? Rishi and
No, I had the same question as you, Chirag. I mean, if it is a bit more specific, then it will be helpful. Like in the next 1 year, you already have sites identified. So basically, as I see it, that the funding is required as a consulting or a professional fee to enable you to go to 5 or 6 sites and be able to
Yes.
do the permaculture work.
Yes, because what I had a land, but it is too small and it's already a food forest. So I didn't find it more to buy and get involved into purchasing the land. So people who are already having a land and me having experience, I can offer that, and basically that land will benefit at the end of the day. So that is
Okay.
our focus.
And is there a component where the landowner also pays a certain fee, or is it going to be that the
It's
landowner?
entirely dependent on them. It's
Okay.
I keep it very open because I do it for gift economy also, or timeshare basis. I negotiate with the person, and more like the client I have from US, the one from Hungary, they have money to offer, so they say you charge whatever you're charging as a profession. So I compensate from there, and then I give the services to where it's needed.
Got it. Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah, hello. Thank you. This is Bhaskar Natarajan.
Yes, sir.
Continuing what
Come
question?
to unmute yourself if you have a question.
Yeah, I have unmuted myself. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Sir.
Continuing the question that was asked a while ago, I see that you have budgeted about $100 per acre for 100 acres of $10,000.
Yes.
As he asked a while back, if you know, is this entire thing going to go to the owner of the land? And as he has asked very rightly, Rishiji, you know, at least there should be a decent contribution from them. Otherwise, you know, it doesn't make sense for us to just give away this $10,000 worth of seeds and sapling.
No, so we don't do the design work unless the host or the farmer promises us to continue the design, because otherwise it's not a meaning. So these seeds and saplings are very special. Most of them are the cover crops which we acquire from different farms and different seed savers, and these are the ones which are not in the practice right now in most of the areas. So these are cover crops ranging from 20 different varieties, and slowly they start covering the land, and you start taking the fodder and the organic matter every 2-3 months, start composting, and that's how it will be utilized. So it's about 7,000-8,000 rupees an acre for the entire year to introduce a diverse plant life on that 1 acre.
Right. So
But of course, they will be taking care of it, and they have to do the design, they have to do the earthworks, and they have to give the commitment of taking it forward season by season, because it's a 3-year design project before they
and
can.
any of the revenues that these people will get, is there some small return that will come back to the project that is funding it?
Right now, I have not discussed about this to the people I am offering this service, but I'm sure once they start benefiting from this, so secondary products or primary products, in that way, we can always collaborate and enhance both ways. So a lot of people will be very happy to contribute back.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you. I'm Dr. Renuka Thakur from UK, and a very interesting project, lovely. Can you just stop sharing your slides so we can see everyone? Thank you.
Sorry.
And yes, my question was around self-sustaining. Like you mentioned, you will help them, but as this is a long-term project, how will they be able to, or how will you keep contact with them for a long term? and also then how they can become self-sustaining. Can you explain me more on that? And also, when you are talking about eco warriors, how are your courses or the courses, are they accredited from somewhere, or do you have an accreditation for your eco warriors?
Yes, it comes under the Permaculture Institute of Australia and UK. So we have been giving the certificate of Heal the Soil Permaculture since we started the workshop. So it will be a certified course, especially the one with the 72 hours, which is a standard permaculture course all around the world. So we give that certification for that course, and also, if needed, we also give the 3-day introduction workshop certificate, and it gives them the platform and the network, and gives them further connection to continue their practices into permaculture. So even the eco warriors means under me, with my organization, we have at least 15 to 20 eco warriors all around the world now, just exclusively doing design works in Europe and in America and a lot of different places. So they can become self-sustaining as a professional, as a permaculture designer. In the like 3 to 5 years of experience, they can be independent also. And of course, as you asked, all the farm and the land which we design, they will be self-sustaining in the next 3 years. So they will start producing food, vegetables, medicines, fruits, bees, honey, fish, whatever is suitable for their design. So they will be self-sustaining.
Okay, just only last comment that your finance did not sum up, like it goes more than $20,000. So you need to be, I think, looking into it.
Okay, that is variable because the rest of the amount is for the seeds. Right now, I am designing for about 35 acres. So let's see how many more design I can acquire. So if we have less land, then we won't need that much of money for the seeds and plants and saplings. So that is quite variable. It's just the 4 people which has to be committed for these projects. So that's why we have kept that as 3,000 per person.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
one more question. So those people that you train, the eco warriors, or who are like special in the permaculture, do
Yes.
they like go ahead and practice, or do they just do their own?
No, they like half of like half I will have people who already have a land or they have a project want to come up, and the other half like Vishwa, he wants to pursue this as a profession, and he will be a designer at some point. So he will take up this as a practice, professional practice.
Okay, so you are basically building a career for them.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Nehal and team. It was a great presentation. We can now move ahead to our next team. So the name of the next submitted proposal is Krishu, submitted by Simar Mad from Sankaltadu farmers and unmute yourselves. And do start sharing your screen and let us know if you're ready to present.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Hello. Yes, you are, and we can see the screen.
Okay. My teammate Nishant will be presenting the first few slides. Nishant.
Everyone. Hello, everyone, and a very good afternoon.
Whenever you are ready to start, I'll.
Yes, Nishant. Yes, Daisy, we are ready. Thank you.
Or
shall I start?
Yes, Nishant.
Yes, please start.
Okay, sure. So we want to introduce you to our project Krishul. So we are from Team Sankalp Foundation. So when we were discussing and identifying a solution, we came across a problem where we see in nearly last 2 decades, 3 lakhs farmers has committed suicide, and the major cause for it was the crop failure. So the crop failure, they came across with various reasons. One, to name a few, was floods were there, droughts, haze, all those reasons that are due to climate crisis. So they faced the severe damage to it, and 17% of the farmer committed suicide are because of the crop failure reason. So we identified this problem, and then we thought of making a solution, and the solution is uh, our app and device Krishul. So Krishul will have consist of 4 models. So first one is getting farmer to know about his field parameters, field data parameters. So and to analyze it, all the parameters, and get an AI and ML notification, and AI and ML based result out of it. So whatever the parameters are there on the field, he will our app will analyze it and will share with the farmer what next steps he or she needs to take to increase the productivity or increase the yield, or to reduce the crop failure. Then the third module is the farmer knowledge database, where we have a community based community based of farmers, where they can discuss or share the problem that they are facing, the problems of pests that are new pests, new diseases, or whatever, and the various problems that they are facing in their field. So a farmer can address to next the other farmer that what he or she is doing, and again to back it by our agronomist experts and the uh, AI bot, AI notifications and AI answers. So that will resolve the query of farmer. And then the fourth module that we found is the market linkage program. So this market linkage program is currently missing for the small and medium farmers. So we want to introduce it to them, and we want to bridge that gap, and we want to increase the selling price of them, or the annual turnover, the annual produce they share. We want to increase that. So Krishul is a very simple solution. We will have a Krishul probe or Krishul device installed in a farmer field. The AI, he just need to connect it with the mobile phone, and having a Krishul app. All the data processing and analytics work will be done on the cloud, and the cloud will send the data on the mobile app, and it will share. It will tell the farmer what steps to take, what things to be done, what things you should not be doing. So this is the basic solution architecture. While also discussing or framing the app, we came across various problems, and what would be the solution, and what is the key differentiator that Trishul is offering. So as previously I mentioned about farm field data. So currently the small and medium farmers are they do not have access to their soil moisture or the soil carbon data, NPK value data, the water pH they are using. So we with the help of the Trishul device, they will get the analytics, they will get the data, and backed by AI ML that is integrated with the weather forecast system. The farmer will get to know when should not he or she should water the trees or water the plants, or if there is a need of irrigation or not, if in the next 2 or 3 days heavy rain is coming or rainfall is there. So we will integrate all this parameter, and all these parameters and the farmer will get notified in the native language, because currently the solution is there, but the solution is not at all affordable for the small and medium farmers. The solution is for the high-end farmers. So we want them to use this app. It will be less complex. It will be a robust solution, and at the same time, it will remove the language barrier, and it will be a multilingual solution. And the best part of this solution will be a single device can be used by multiple farmers. So if I have a probe and I am using that visual probe at my field, I can share with the same probe with the different farmers. So that makes this whole solution affordable for all the farmers. And the second problem, as we discussed, was the increase in pests and diseases because of climate change. So we have the AI-based advisory, so they will get the AI-based notification, AI-based answer to their queries, that what steps they should take to avoid this, what organic solutions that are available, and what organic approach they should take, because currently the solution is there, but again the most of the solution builders or the products are more into selling the product rather than actually consulting with the farmer what the problem is. So that is why we are providing them the right consultation along with the using of more organic and friendly remedies. So as also discussed, we have the market linkage program where we will be having the Mandi API in our app. So currently the small and medium farmers do not have access to the Mandi rates or the Mandi API that is available. So we are also bringing that into our app, so that will help the farmer to get to know about the real-time Mandi rates. So he or she will discuss what rate he should be selling, or that will also have an analytics program that will tell the farmer what was the previous trends about the, let's say, a price of onion, and what he should do or he should sow in his field to get the maximum output the next year. So currently, again, the solution is there, but the decision making process is not present there. So that is why we are the key differentiator in the mentioned problems. The next problem we found is that there is a depletion of natural resources. So the main use of water farmer is doing is the using conventional method, and the conventional method of irrigation is flooding. So that we want the farmer to reduce it, and we want him to use the precision farming approach that will optimize the usage of the water in his field, the usage of fertilizer in his or her field, and that will also at the same time will increase the soil productivity. So the sustainable agricultural practices, we want to promote it among the various farmers, among the small and medium farmers. Then there is the biggest problem that we came across is that the tech solutions are available, but farmer cannot unbundle those. So we thought of providing them with upcycled handheld mobile phones, because the solution is there, but they can't afford it because of the lack of resources. So we are providing them with upcycling old phones. At the same time, it is minimizing the e-waste, and as I mentioned, same device can be shared with multiple farmers. So it is completely component. So yeah, so about Sankalp Taru Foundation.
So we are operating in 23 states as of now, and we have working on 12 out of 17 sustainable development goals. We are the first NGO to integrate plantation platform with geotagging and automation. So we are already technology-based tree plantation NGO. Apart from it, we have just launched blockchain to improve transparency in our to our donors, to give them the trust that they can donate and they know where the amount or money is spent. Okay. Apart from it, we have more than 500 corporate partners and sponsors. Nishant, can you flip the slide?
Yes.
We are working with one of the biggest companies in the world for tree plantation. So they are already working with us on tree plantation, but we want to move ahead and help the farmers more in doing precision farming. So for this, we would be asking for the grant. Next slide. We have already a donor base of 600 plus, 500 plus corporate base, 10,000 plus individual donors, HNIs and foreign donors who are contributing for greening the planet. We have covered more than 23 plus states and already connected with 30,000 plus farmer beneficiary. So this will be our first target audience in context to the Trishul app. So, and we wish to grow it 8 times in next 3 years. And since we are already working on technology and API integration, we want to put Trishul as an extra milestone towards sustainable development, sustainable agriculture. Next.
So,
yeah, Nishant, please go ahead.
So this is our implementation plan. So how we will move forward with it. So in the first quarter, we are currently doing the prototype testing. We have a small prototype installed at our research center. And in the next 2 quarters of this year, we want to proceed with the app development where we will make the Trishul app. In the 4th quarter this year, we will roll out it to the we will do a regional rollout where also followed by the collection of handheld phones. So in the regional rollout, we will use this device and test it in the various arid regions where we are working. Then in the first quarter of 23, we will full scale roll out this app and the device. In the second quarter, we will do the product enhancement. We want to make this not only for farmers, but want to expand our reach to the forestry data sensing as well. And then in the third and fourth quarter of 23, we want to go global and offer this solution to the other countries. So the impact that this app and this device will have is it will increase the productivity of the crop. It will bring down the savings cost of farmer. It also helps in minimizing the waste. As I mentioned, we will upcycle around 75,000 old handheld phones. And in the next 2 years, we will reach around 1.5 lakhs farmers. And as we already have a set of farmers database where they already produce around 29,400 tons of fruit products produced per year. So we can implement our Mandi API market linkage program with this app. So the SDGs that are connected with this program are SDG 2, 3, and 8, where we are solving this zero hunger, good health being, and decent economic growth, where we are helping farmers with crop and pest management. We are helping them getting a better yield and selling it at a deserving price. We want to better their income, and the main idea behind this app was to reduce the number of farmer suicides that are happening in India. Then we are also promoting gender equality with our app, where we have around 45% of the women beneficiaries that are working currently with Sankaltaru, and we want to increase the livelihood by bettering their crop yield. So a scientific approach that we are taking by sustainable agriculture practices, and we want to promote it to small and medium farmers as well by this project. And responsible consumption and production and the climate action, yes, we want to target that. So responsible production and consumption of the produce they are producing, because currently in India around 20 to 30% of the produce is getting wastage, and we want to reduce that number, and we want to keep it at as minimum as possible. So yes, Simran.
So we'll be asking for USD for development of the app. Yes, Daisy.
Thank you so much, Simmer and team. It was a wonderful presentation. We can now move ahead to the Q&A round, and I request our judges to please unmute themselves and start asking questions as the time has already begun.
Hey, Nishan. So, like you mentioned, like the app is one of the major challenges I see in the app is like you're trying to connect the farmer with the consumer, right?
Yes.
And are you trying to bypass the mandi, or is it like going through mandi? Because there is a lot of challenge with mandi as well, the way it is set up.
Yes, so the government has the Mandi API in it. So we want to take this Mandi to those farmers via this app. So we are not bypassing the Mandi. We want them to get to know the rate of what is in the Mandi, what rate they are offering in the Mandi, and we want to take the better decision for them. Like, okay, let's say 40,000 is here and 50,000 is in the nearby Mandi. So they will sell their produce in the next mandi where they are getting a very a high price rather than they are getting in the same mandi with a low price.
Yeah, because there was some projects very similar to that that came up to me, and that was actually based out of Pakistan, especially where they had this mandi, because a lot of this people don't get their produce prices basically.
Yes.
And they get ultra low prices actually.
Yes. So that is why we are building this mandia where a farmer can get to know price of, let's say, a village in Kanpur, and a farmer is near Lucknow. So if the rate in Lucknow is high, then he can sell the product in Lucknow.
So how far is the app basically when you say it's in the concept phase, or is it like a prototype? You mentioned that the prototype is ready, right, or something?
Yes. So currently the prototype phase is ready, and I with my team members built a small module and testing it at our research center. So currently we are using the free sources on the internet like ThinkSpeak and Blink app, the IoT devices. So the prototype is working well, and now this is it is working well. We want to scale it to a larger audience, and for that we need cloud servers like AWS and Azure. So that is the next phase of the production, and that is why we want to develop this app.
So when you mentioned like the Blink, the IoT app, right? The IoT API.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned AI, right? I don't see a lot of AI over here until you go in a very later phase.
Yes, so the AI part will come later, where the decision-making part we will introduce. So you once get the soil moisture data, the soil carbon data, then
So
integrating it with the.
Yeah, how do you get those sensors? So you put those sensors in the soil or like in the farmland, or how is it?
Yes, so it will be a device that is totally portable, connected via Bluetooth. So a device we will give this device to the farmer. He can install it to the various farms where he can. So a farmer can have 4 fields, so he can get the data of mango field, apple field, wheat field, rice field. So all those data he can get, and he can install it totally and get the data via this.
What is your team size?
Currently, we are a team of around 50 plus with coordinators and program managers and admin team. So yeah, currently we are a team of around 50, 60 people.
That's a huge team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rishi, you want to go ahead? Rishi, I think I'm done with my questions.
Yeah, thanks. So I just wanted to ask, I mean, to the best of my knowledge, a lot of such apps already exist. And there is a lot of work around agriculture and big data already happening. So would it make sense to use any of these existing services, and would that be cheaper and easier to deploy rather than testing a whole new app altogether? And the second thing is, keeping all the technology aside, are you already working with a group of farmers somewhere hands-on, which means that maybe you worked with them over 2-3 production cycles and actually faced harvesting issues, post-harvesting, then the mandi pricing, everything. So I have these two questions.
Simar,
Yes, you can answer the first part. I'll go with the second part.
okay. So yes, as you mentioned correctly, yes, there are apps that are available in the market, but as our going back to our problem statement, those apps or the solutions are not there for the small and medium farmers. So our target audience are not the high-end farmers who have big lands, but the small farmers that we work with, and the small and medium farmers that do not have access to technology. Because these solutions, yes, they are there, but what about the farmers who does not have the mobile phone? So we are bridging that gap by bridging that reducing that by using the upcycled handheld phones. We will collect those phones, we will distribute this to those small and medium farmers, and that is how the other solution will also reach to them. The first part is to get them a smartphone, then they will implement the existing solution. So the
The
first part we
vernacular
are doing.
language, and the language is the barrier. Mostly the solutions are in English, and working with the farmers for past 10 years, we have realized that when you go inside Karnataka village or you go inside Ladakh village, the English is the language that farmers cannot communicate with properly. So they need to have the solutions in their language where everything is given to him in a very simple way. They cannot do multiplicity of technology, and the app has to be very simple in the language that they can understand, in which they can communicate. So that is what we're building for very small and medium farmers whom we are working for past 10 years. And coming to your second question, yes, suppose if I just talk about Maharashtra, so there were normally Vidarbha is an area where you have less of a rainfall, but due to climate change, there were floods and the cotton crop that is grown there was destroyed. So if we could help them in, we normally doing agroforestry to compensate that loss. So then we realized that we have to inform them about what they can do with the crops that they have already grown, where they can get the maximum benefit. So they can go to Nasik, or they have to go to Nagpur, or they have to go to Ahmednagar to sell the crop. Even if they're not having this device, they'll go to Nagpur, they'll say, okay, I am selling it in 1,500 rupees a ton. But there they get to know, okay, no, Ahmednagar, I'm getting 2,500 a ton. So that will be more carbon footprint generated. But at sitting at their home, they know, okay, through API Mandi, I have this mandis, and this is the rate that I'm getting. So they can directly go to Nagpur, or they can directly go to the area where they're getting more of the amount of the small amount that they have produced. It's not very big that they do, the small and medium farmers. So this is the benefit that we wish to give it through this app. So that is the differentiator we are looking into. That's
yeah, okay. Thank you.
We have our last 2 minutes.
Thank you. I think most of the questions were related to data, and my question is also again very similar. Though there are several apps and everything, what are your source of data are authentic? I mean, because of the variety of the land farms and the crops and specific locations and all that, what is the authenticity of the data? And also, are you going to train them to work on that app? Also, are you going to update them that, okay, go and sow your seeds today? Something like that. Is that things are possible? Are these things are possible?
Yes, exactly. The data is something that will be in AI. The data comes with slow process. So whatever we'll be using in means prototyping at one place. We'll be collecting the information and then the machine will start working. We'll be training all our farmers, and hence the release is up till 2 years. If we start today, we'll start the making of the app, then we'll plan a small rollout among our farmer beneficiaries, which are around 30,000. And slowly and gradually, we'll reach out to other farmers, and the training will go on simultaneously because we are already connected with them. We're growing trees with them, fruit-bearing trees on very regular basis. So this will be a rollout manner. Slowly and steadily, the things will pass on until things will grow and collectively data will come. And we have a team of experts with us. We have Ravi ji, we have Anil ji, who are agronomists for last 15 to 20 years. They have a lot of experience and they'll be helping in creating the database and creating the questions and answers for all the frequent questions or FAQs kind of a thing, which will help in the AI development.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions, Bhaskar Natarajan here. One is that I see that in year one, you will spend the entire 20,000 on developing the app, right?
Yes.
Nothing else that is planned in year one, right? Okay.
Yes.
Second, the impacts that you are talking about, so much of wastage, so much of income, so much of all that. How do you plan to track all that through your app?
Through the app.
Okay.
You said your impact is going to be so much reduction in wastage, so much, right? So
yes.
How am I going to funding agency? How will it get to know what you have actually achieved, the impact that you promised versus the impact that you achieve?
Okay. So basically, yes, Nishant.
Yes. So currently with the Sankalp model, we already have those impact data sets with us. We have our annual reports where we tell them about our yearly crop produce. As I mentioned, we already have a database. What was the yearly crop produce of a farmer land or of a particular area? So this app will help us, with the integration of Mandi. This help will help us more in getting those data and getting those data in very fine and concrete and refined manner. So Sankalp Praru has already practices this, and that is how we will get the data of the crop product, how is the crop failure, because at Sankalp Praru we also promised them the survival rate of 95% of the crops of the crops or the saplings we plant at the field.
Time's up.
So, okay. So, yeah, just to
Okay,
say, so yeah.
I just had one last comment. I mean, you can keep this with you and maybe answer later. Are you really planning to earn any money from this app? Every app generator expects some money, right? From somewhere, right? A revenue. Or is it just purely a giveaway app?
It will be a giveaway app. Because as I mentioned, a probe will help multiple farmers as well. If you want to really sell it, we will give multiple probes to multiple farmers. We are giving one probe and multiple farmers can use it. So yes, it is a giveaway app.
The funds come through donors and grants. What?
Yeah, that's fine. Just a comment for the organizers and for you. I think this 20,000 is a very, very underestimate for the app that you are planning to develop in multiple languages. You might just see that at the end of 1 year, you've run out of money, but the app is not ready. Just for you to think about it and for the organizers to make a note. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Simar and Nishan. It was a wonderful presentation. So moving ahead to our last presentation of the day, I would like to welcome Bhavesh Swami and his team to present their submitted proposal, which is Climate Education and Green Campuses for Safer Planet. Please do turn on your cameras and unmute yourself and let us know whenever you are ready to present. You can also start sharing your screen.
Thanks, Daisy, for this. And a big thanks to Team Nisarg for giving us this opportunity. With this, we hope we'll be able to move ahead on a journey of collaboration and showing the world how one and one can make a world better together with multiplier effect taking shape. I'm Bhavesh, part of Team Climate Reality India. With me joining today is Mr. Aditya and Mr. Ganesh Sata, who is taking the initiative on the field. The presentation would be made by Mr. Aditya, and Mr. Aditya, in case you are ready, I can request for a timer to get started.
Thank you, Bhavesh. Yes, I'm ready. Please.
All right. Your time starts now.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you to the organizers for giving us this opportunity to talk. And as we all know, the climate challenge, so I will not go into the details of climate challenge. It's on our doorsteps, and the IPCC report, which has come out on 28th April, is having some very dire warnings. So moving ahead with the Climate Reality Project, a little brief about the organization. This was formed when IPCC and Mr. Gore got the Nobel Prize. This organization was born after that. And now we have trained about 42,000 climate reality leaders worldwide. And we have a presence in about 170 countries with 11 branches. And our basic objective is how to bring about a change and how to get a transformation as fast as possible, seeing the situation. Though the India branch, as we are talking about, which I'm representing, is an independent chapter. We have got eminent Indians as our trustees, and it's got about 1,500 climate reality leaders who are all over the country supporting the program. The programs, though of course the most important program is building awareness into the society for a change, for climate change. But there are 4 buckets we are mainly focusing on. One is the climate change education, one is rainwater harvesting, third is tree planting, and fourth is clean energy and EVs. Like, these are the things which we are trying to push. I'm going to talk today about the climate change education program, because you see India is a huge country with 1.4 billion. So no peer-to-peer model will work in this country. So we decided to build capacity into institutions which can help us in educating the masses, because climate change is a complex, you can say a complex message. So we built 2 programs. One is a teachers training program and one is a green campus program. So the teachers training program is to build capacity inside the institutions where we go train the teachers. It's you can say about a half-a-day workshop where we talk to the teachers, we explain the climate change issues, we talk about sustainable development, we talk about the risk, what the area is facing, where they are based, that is their village or city they are in, and what could be the possible solutions in that area. So this is, you can say, it's a well-organized program working for around 7-8 years now, and it is assisted by a web mobile. It's got activities, it's got teaching content, and it's being offered in literally now 4 languages. Like, we are doing it in Hindi, we are doing it in English, we are doing it in Marathi, and we are also now doing it in Odia. So it's a deeper engagement program. And we have worked in a couple of states in the country, and we have trained about 11,000 teachers up till now. And we have reached about 1,000+ schools in the country. Though the figures may look good, but I think they are not even a drop in the ocean. Like, when we see what the country is all about, we have about 45 million teachers in this country. So it's a very long journey, and probably we are just a drop in the ocean at present. Then we realized in 2018-19 that to bring about a more, you can say, an impact, because the basic problem was, how do you manage your impact after you've done the training for half a day and you left? So of course, one way we have worked out is getting more of apps and more of reporting and more of changes impact we are measuring. But then the Green Campus program was born, where you can have more things happening. Like, it's more about awareness, action, and award. This is a well thought out program where we are trying to start with the awareness, where high impact teachers training program is done. And we have partnered with a number of organizations like UNESCO also in the past. And so after this, these workshops are done, then those people are, and they are given the material, they're told how to use it. And then we move on to the activities part. This is, as I said, this that teachers training program was more about a half-a-day to 1-day program. This is more of it, hand-holding goes on from up to 3 months to 6 months, where a lot of transformation happens inside the institution. It is, you can say, a transformation of the institution, transformation of the teaching staff and people, and third ultimate impact is on the children and the community around the place. So what we are working in this is we are focusing on clean energy, biodiversity, water, waste, and air quality. So these are the 5 big buckets on which we start working. So as you must have thought about, yeah, we put the solar panels up, trees are planted, rainwater harvesting is implemented. Children are told how to do the waste segregation. So two-bin model is done, compost pits are put, and air quality is measured. Children are told how to measure air quality. Transportation is encouraged, which is more eco-friendly. So basically, the school goes through a whole process of involvement. So and nearly everybody gets involved. So this is the good part about this project. And in case after that's done, we continuously handhold them, and then we also go ahead and do an audit of the institution, how much they rank, because these schools are used to a lot of ranking, like gold, platinum, silver. They want to have a rank, so we give them a certificate as per the achievement. And also, like if you get a silver, you try to achieve platinum. And this whole process is of what we are doing is also recognized by the Indian Green Building Council. They say that in case you certify an institution and they apply to us, we will give them a certificate free of cost. So that is so we are very happy and very thankful to the CII IGBC that they are helping us with this. So up till now, we have done about 9 schools. We started this project in 19 to 20. Then there was the COVID year, but then still this year we have done about 37, and 65 are enrolled for this coming year. So we are planning to now scale this up. And that's what we are looking forward to, like in case if we get more partners to scale it up. And the impacts are already there since the last 3 years, like where we have done this teachers training and the Green Campus program. We are seeing a lot of greening happening because they keep a note of it. Solar panels have been put in most of the schools. They've started different type of gardenings have been started. And composting has become a very active thing, and the children are getting used to it. And of course, it's as it also works with the Government of India's Swachhta Abhiyan. So all these things are impacting SDG in a number of ways. Like, of course, we can link, like for tree plantation, you can link it to SDG 15. You can put water into SDG 6. You can put good health because of the air quality and what we are teaching about. So, and if you are living near the oceans, then we have a lot of programs talking about the ocean. So SDG 14 gets involved. And of course, we are from climate SDG 13. But ultimately, all these things, all these SDGs I'm talking about simply is because we are trying to work on SDG 1 also, because you see, ultimate aim is that in case we can build for climate justice, we are trying to take this program to places where the bigger, the more, like for example, you can say the bigger organizations sometimes are not going, like for example, interiors of Maharashtra, Odisha, tribal villages. They're the places we are trying to pick up these schools with, of course, the city schools also, where we can bring the transformation. And this is also helping in the alleviation of poverty, because one climate disaster and you are set back a long time. And we have had a lot of recommendations coming from teachers who are very, very satisfied, the principals and teachers who generally write to us after we request them for how they looked about. And we got a very good feedback with more than 95% people being extremely satisfied. A lot of coverage has been given in most of the places, and wherever we go. The media also takes a lot of interest, and that's actually one of the things we are looking forward to, because the idea is to spread, as I said, we are into awareness and education. So the more people start talking about it, the more people start looking at it, that's where our numbers are getting done. Now, to scale this program up, we are talking to a couple of institutions. Like already I have we've got this MOU with the Rayat Shikshan Sanstha, probably the largest institution in Asia, with over 13,000 employees and 500,000 children. So we've already started, we've done 50 schools with them last year, and about 5 campuses turning green. Then the Deccan Education Society, probably the oldest one people know in India, Ferguson's Pune. Those people are working with us. They are doing it in about 6 of campuses. They have started working. We are working with Sri Vivekanand, and we are also working with a lot of states. We've requested the Odisha state if they can give us access to the tribal schools so we can develop material specifically for them. So we are looking at scaling, like the things are there. We all have stuff with us. Now, how do we scale it? You can say the amount of contribution we are looking at, because we are looking at partners actually, because we are trying to see if we can people with whom we can do more schools, do more work, and we can all grow together and bring an impact together. So ours is a very, very you can say a very partnership approach, and whatever money we get from the partners, we don't use it for our administrative expenses or any of this. So 100% of the money which the partners give goes to the project. And everything will, like all the expenses, etc., are recorded, and they will have a very transparent that whatever money they gave, $1 or $20 or $20,000, whatever was given was invested in the project itself. So the rough cost we have worked out is we are getting is for turning a school campus green, it's about 4 lakh Indian rupees, or about 5,000, you can say $5,500 US, which includes about 3 kilowatt of solar panels, includes putting in rainwater harvesting structure for the building, then putting in waste bins, putting in a compost pit, putting in greenery, green ponds and everything. And generally we are sometimes left with a miscellaneous of about 25 to 30,000 rupees that is spent upon maintenance in the coming 1 or 2 years. So that's how it works. While the climate education workshop is cost us about $350, or you can say about 25,000 rupees to organize, support, and give a complete support in terms of, like, for example, you can say because we are having a totally through network, we are internet, we are trying to do it. The benefits of the program, which we think that would be to the people who join us, will be that, of course, the one is some are planetary benefits like saving of energy, water, resources. Then we are really emphasizing through our training program a lot upon behavioral change, because that is very crucial. India is getting richer and richer, and the incomes will keep rising. And once the incomes rise, then how do people consume? So that will be very crucial. So behavioral changes is all part of what we are training and what the project we are bidding in. Then we are working, as I said, if a partner will get access to the tier 2 and smaller cities, then strengthening of brand of our partner, we carry their name wherever, like they are sponsoring or they are with us. We keep their name onto the boards where the training is done. We display it very prominently when the training is being done. And especially in the Green Campus program, we even put it on the boards where they are the people who funded the project. So it's a pure acknowledgement we acknowledge ourselves as only as a implementing partner, but people who sponsor it are given due thing. So I think it will also give goodwill, publicity to our partners who work with us. And of course, we learned a lot from our partners also, because every partner brings in a lot of, you can say, strengths. So we learn from their strengths, and also we are ready to share in case they want to understand how we work and how we are taking it forward. We are ready to do it. So ultimately, this is all about, we are very concerned that Climate Reality Project has been working quite actively globally. In India also, we are probably one of the few organizations which have been able to take climate education so seriously and into the schools of the country, that now we are getting a lot of a demand from the institutions who are saying that they would like to get associated. So, and we very strongly feel that climate justice is one of the very, very important issue for the coming times. And probably South Asia, as you must have read the last report, says that this area is probably the most critical area as far as the climate impacts are going to be concerned. It's got the maximum cyclones, droughts, and floods coming, and it's also got the minimum amount of coping capacity. So the vulnerability is very, very less, very, very low, I would say. So with that, I think I have finished it well in time. So thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to speak, and we are open for questions.
Thank you so much, Aditya. So we have 2 more minutes left in our hands, so we'll add to your Q&A round. So I request our judges to please unmute themselves and start asking questions.
Thank you, Aditya, for the great presentation. And one of the key areas that we also believe is the climate education is far more important, because if the other generation doesn't know, it's going to be difficult. Like it was for our generation, hope we had that education available when we grew up, and a lot of the impact would have been far more different. And so one thing you said, like you will be like, when a partner comes, you will be like, can you elaborate more on that part? Because that's something was, there is an ambiguity over there.
Okay. So regarding partnership, Mr. Chirag, what we do is, like, for example, as I said, there could be 2 levels of partnership. One partnership could be that the partner can say, okay, I want to sponsor 1 school, 2 schools, or 4 schools, like whatever is their budget. So that could be then we could then we are implementing the program there. So there will be boards put about that this is the Green Campus done by, so the partner's name would be there. That's one thing. And all the boards that this Green Campus was converted with the help of financial assistance from partner ABCD. Then secondly, sir, what we do is like for the material, for example, the training notes and the material, for example, there we have a list of partners, there their name would also go. And in case a partner wants to join in for a even deeper engagement, they want to say, okay, we want to be more we want to be part of your content creator, we want to help in content creation. So those, again, their logos and their names would be mentioned. And of course, we'll be carrying their name and logo on our website, on our the website where we will be prominently displaying them as one of the supporters of the climate education and the climate reality project. So their name would be on our social media also, like as a partner, wherever when we do a function or program, it will be prominently mentioned.
One more question. So like when you say like in one budget, how much does it cost for one school to be?
Chirag sir, I'll tell you.
Down in it because it's
I'll give you the breakdown. Yes, sir. So it's about, as I told you, it's about, we are taking a modest budget of about 4 lakh rupees for a school to turn green, because that would include about 3 kilowatt of implementation of solar. So implementing about 3 kilowatt of solar takes about anything between 1.7 to 2 lakh rupees for considering all your iron fixtures and the panels and everything, and a decent quality of panel with 25 years of life. So that takes the basic amount, a big amount of chunk of money, 2 lakh rupees, 50% goes basically in solar panels. Then around, we are budgeting about 50 to 60,000 rupees for rainwater harvesting. So assuming about 1,000 square feet of roof will get converted. So that much money would be implemented on rainwater harvesting, changing the other faucets and etc. to be more water. Because the whole idea is water conservation and teaching children and the staff also. Like for example, the institution should be water constant. So water, then changing your light fittings, etc. That a little bit of money will go into that. Then the waste, again, we'll be putting about 50,000 we budgeted for waste bins, doing a compost bin. About, it takes anything between 5,000 to 10,000 rupees. So in case the school has got a lot of trees and all, then you might require 2 or 3 waste you can say those compost pits for. So those compost pits are essential, at least 2 in every institution. And then of course putting in the box the water blue bins, green bins, so that the children are taught how to segregate right at the source. So that is something we are working on. So that much money goes there. Then of course we've kept around 50,000 for horticulture, where each school, green school, has to prepare about 1,000 trees, because we are using the school as a nursery, and producing about 1,000 trees per school, which have to be then planted into the community. So that gives us at least 1,000 trees get planted by each school. So this is something each year. That's the target for each year. So,
and do you have an anticipated school that you would like to start with? I mean,
yeah, we have, sir, we have a couple of schools in Maharashtra who are very much interested. As I said, that we're already working with some of the schools from the Riyat Shikshan Sansthan and Deccan Education. So they're very keen to take on these projects, because they have so many places, they have these schools, and as I said, more than 400 institutions they are there, and that too in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, sometimes in villages where there is no electricity. So there it is really impactful. So we already have a lot of schools who would be very keen. So we are really looking forward to scaling up, and especially, and we really don't give funds to those schools which can afford it. We don't give it those, like for example, I will not take any names. We have some very rich and very super rich schools in India. So we are not giving them, we are giving them the Green Campus program, but they have to do everything on their own. We are only going to put money of our donors' money where it is badly needed. It's a private institution which is absolutely doing some very good work, but they don't have the resources.
So would you be able to give us the name of the schools that you are proposing in the thought process?
Sir, we'll do that, sir. We'll do that.
Okay, I'll hand it over to Rishi or other judges.
No, I don't have any question, because Chirag, I think you covered most of the ground. So thank you, Aditya.
Thank you, Rishi.
Yeah, thanks. This is Bhaskar Natarajan. Couple of things. One is that once you've done the project, then how do we ensure that the school continues to do the maintenance of the solar, water harvesting, and every other thing for the next 5 to 7 years? How do we ensure that?
Absolutely, Bhaskarji, that is very critical actually so that's what we are working on, that what we do have done, Bhaskarji, is that we have this now this website, we have the data collection, like for example, thanks to now these technologies becoming so inexpensive. So we have like got for each school what we are working on, we dedicate a particular section to them on our website, we link them up, and there the teachers are supposed to put in data, and that data is continuously monitored, where for example the amount of like electricity savings, the amount of water, like how they're proceeding. So those things are done on a continuous basis. And secondly, we also encourage the schools to move up the ladder. Like for example, most of the schools will get branded as either gold or silver, because platinum is hardly, very rarely a school gets that level, but unless they have a lot of funding coming. So that's again an encouragement for the school to move forward. So we are keeping them in totally engaged. Plus, we are also keeping them engaged through a lot of other competitions, and because we are developing a network, and our idea is to go over 1,000 schools in the future, 2-3 years. So we are trying to develop those places where we have these people can keep reporting the data. Like for example, these so we continuously have an idea, okay, this is how much work was done, how much money, how much water was saved, how much electricity was saved during a year, because naturally they will be saving certain amount of units by the end of the year. So that data we are collecting, so because that's also part of our impact report, that this many schools are doing this much. So this will be a continuously data gathering exercise, and we have people on the ground who are doing it. Plus, we are also appointing 2 teachers per school. Like for example, whichever school joins a Green Campus program, they have a proper committee of 7 people headed by the principal who are responsible. And there also then we try to appoint 1 or 2 teachers, because in case somebody leaves, so they are so 1 plus 1 we keep. So they keep reporting to us, and we work with them quite closely. The whole idea is that they should do all the reporting, not us. And encourage them to be part of our network and work with us and keep them motivated. So that is the basic idea once you are through with the project.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Of course,
yeah, go ahead.
And so then finally say what is we are trying to also do is these schools, as I told you, they're in remote areas and sometimes in smaller cities. We are trying to make them as community leaders also, that once you have done it, then try to assist the nearby region and spread the message. So that also helps.
As you said, you are going to be talking to the schools that are in real need. Now, I also note that for a number of these things, whether it is solar or water harvesting or planting and so on, there is quite a bit of funds that are already available from the state budget. I certainly would think that you should add on to the money that is coming from this project, if at all we go through, and make sure you're able to get the money from what is the government is promising these. They have said, I can give you so much money for solar, so much money for water harvesting and so on. So I seriously think we should add on that money to our pot of money.
I perfectly agree with you. Bhaskarji is a very good suggestion. And that's actually the thought process also, that you show them a model working, because these political parties are extremely sensitive to when they see such changes happening. Because what we have done in Maharashtra and a couple of places, as soon as we finished the project, we had all the local people coming and trying to have a look at what has been done. And then everybody starts asking for more changes and start asking for more. So we are expecting that to work like a catalyst. We don't want to do all the schools. It's not possible in this country. The country is just too big. So the whole idea is that we do in a certain area, and we expect other schools to do it through government funding, through, for example, going for government funds and going through other public funds. So the idea is to start this chain reactions, to start putting up models in every city and district to show that, oh, this is possible and this can be done. And then try to talk about those models to everyone through media and press, so that encouragement, that competition come. But you're right, sir. But the money, we have explored this money part, and especially this money, they're generally promising their own schools, government schools. They don't generally give it to societies and all that easily. Basically, government is assisting its own schools only currently.
So, like if the government is assisting their own school, right? So do you work with any government schools as well, or?
Yes, yes.
You have this program for teaching, right? Educational.
Yeah, Chirag sir, in Odisha, we have done it with 10 tribal schools. It's more or less done now. That The government put in the money. We did first 4 schools, as I told you. We did first 4 schools in Rayagada, in Odisha, which is supposed to be one of the most backward districts in the country and the Prime Minister's aspirational district. So they were so happy that they said, we want to do 6 more and we will fund. You just run the program and we will do all the money we'll put in. So the government did everything in the next. So we have got 10 schools now undergoing this program in Rayagada. Say 4 by us and 6 by government itself. And the district magistrate invited us and tried to understand the whole process. He said, I'd like to take it even further down once. So that's the whole idea, sir, actually, to build it and show it to people and then leave, so that this thing starts and it keeps on. They move on this side, because the whole idea is to move it towards low carbon and behavioral changes. So that's what we are actually aiming for.
Okay.
Last 1 minute.
Thank you. I think I had a few questions around this finance and impact, which I have heard from you. The only question now, when you mention about the behavioral change, have you made any notice in impact on behavioral change, and have you documented that? Because I think you are already in this field from a few years now. Are there any examples you can share? Because that is the most, I think, the need of the society, that they should go out, like within even their lifestyle, they should make these decisions based on your education, which they have got.
Yes, Renuka ma'am, I'll just probably, because I just have 1 minute, so I'll quickly share 2 things with you. Like one thing which we saw just now was that after one of the recent last year, the schools which did it, and they are situated right in the heart of where you have a lot of this sugarcane implementation being done, and a lot of farm burning takes place. So after the children were made aware of the air pollution and the need for not to burn. So the thing is, the children were able to convince that local area, and the teachers were able to convince the local area that they should not burn their fields. Like after the clearing, they should stop burning the crop residue. So that I found as a very, very powerful impact, that immediate impact we saw. And number 2, another thing that we saw was seed collection. Like we have seen wherever these teachers trainings have happened, a lot of children have started collecting seeds, like seeds for planting in their homes, seeds for planting in the nearby areas. So that's again one key thing which we saw a behavioral change in children, where they started this seed collection part of it. And of course, there are a number of other activities. Like, for example, we have found that children more switching off lights, more switching off, talking about it, carrying off less of plastics, trying to not throw around, especially plastic, shifting from plastics to paper, you can say cloth bags, has been again very successful thing we have seen, that whichever schools which we were focusing on. Okay. Okay.
You can complete the question and then we can conclude your Q&A round.
Yeah. So that's it. I think I have, so these are probably the 3-4 examples I can talk about. And behavioral change, we'll be documenting also, as I said, this impact report which we are preparing. So we are very carefully documenting. We already have about a list of about 20 activities which are to be done, even in teachers training program. Green Campus is a very highly impactful program, but even in the teachers training which we do, so this list of about 20 activities, we are trying to keep a track. And very soon we'll be coming out with a full report on this, that what school did what.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I think this was like one of the pretty interesting behavioral change, and thanks for pointing it out. All right, Daisy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Aditya and Abhishek. It was an amazing presentation. I'm sure most of our viewers were enjoying it throughout. So we have reached to the conclusion of this event. And as we move ahead, I'd like to request Chirag sir to say a few words before we conclude the event.
Hi, everyone. Today's all the presentation were amazing, and I think each of them had a great value in it. It's just so hard to make additions, so we'll leave it on the judges, but I'm pretty sure a lot of these proposals will move ahead. I think that should be all on my end.
Okay, thank you, Chirag sir. So first of all, I'd like to thank you all, including the participants and
Your
our
voice is
judges, for taking out time from your busy schedules for being here with us today. Hello, am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible now. Yeah.
All right, sorry for the poor network connection. So I was saying thank you to all of you who's been a part of today's event. Thank you to our judges who've taken out time from their busy schedule to be here with us today. It was amazing to see such amazing presentation, and we had an in-depth knowledge on what needs to be worked on in India and at a priority. And we look forward to having as much as proposals we can take ahead, and we'll be sending more information on how we proceed with the further rounds in throughout and via email. I request you all to please join us on 22nd of April next Saturday. We would love to have you all, and we look forward to many more collaborations in the future. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. And
Thank you,
nice
everyone.
to
Those were
see.
great presentations.
I also want to thank
Nice to see
all the
Dr.
judges
Bhaskar
to be
after many
here.
years.
Thank you.
Daisy, are we staying back or?